This is chapter 1 of the language of music, and we're going to start with the basic building blocks of music. If you're just beginning to study music, this is the place to start. So the fundamentals of music are pitch and rhythm. Now pitch refers to how high or low a tone sounds. For instance, you can hear the tone moving up and you can hear the tone moving down. Pitch is high and low. Rhythm refers to how long or short. So rhythm refers to duration. So another way to look at it is pitch is vertical, high and low, and rhythm is horizontal. Rhythm is duration. So let's talk about pitch first. Now there's 3 different naming systems that we use in music. The first is just letter names. You can call notes by letter names, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You can also call notes by number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Another method, if you remember Maria von Trapp running around on the Alps with the Von Trapp children singing Do, Re, Mi, singing that song, that's a system called solfege, which is basically the same thing. So the one thing you got to remember is A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, Do, Re, Mi, it's all the same. 3 different ways of saying the same thing. So it's simpler than you think. Now, before we move on, let's just take a look and see what that looks like on the keyboard. Do you hear how note number 1 and note number 8 sound very similar? That's because they actually have the same letter name. This is middle C here, and this is C an octave above. So again, if you start on this note, middle C, and you walk up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 8. That's called an octave. And the thing about music is that pattern repeats all the way up and down the keyboard. If you look all the way down at the left of a grand piano keyboard, all the way up to the right, that octave pattern repeats 8 times. So instead of learning 88 notes, really all you need to learn is 12 notes in the octave, and in the major scale there's really only 7. So that's why I say this is a whole lot simpler than it sounds. So I do recommend that you go into the book and check out this, because there's a lot more detail in there. But that's the basic building blocks of pitch right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now at this point it's fair to ask the question, why did you start on C? Why didn't you start on A? Honestly, when I get to heaven, that's like the first question I'm going to ask God. Why he didn't line up 1, 2, 3 with A, B, C exactly. And here's the reason why. When it comes to music theory and studying and learning about music, the key of C is by far the easiest, simplest key to work with. We're going to spend 90% of our time in this DVD working in the key of C. And let me show you why. If you look on the keyboard, that major scale that we just played, you notice that's all white keys on the keyboard. In other words, even if you don't play keyboard, if you came over and started on middle C and just walked up on the white keys of the piano, voila, you just played a C major scale. And it's very easy to tell the notes that are part of that scale and the notes that aren't part of that scale. In other words, the white keys are scale tones, the black keys are non-scale tones. So just bear in mind that we're going to spend 90% of our time working in the key of C major. So just imagine this for 1 second. You're a music director back in the 1400s in Germany somewhere, and your worship leader is this young rebellious guy named Martin Luther. And he comes running into the church one morning saying, "Quick, quick, God just gave me this awesome song." And he starts singing at the top of his lungs, "A mighty fortress is our God." And Marty says, "Man, you got to help me remember this song." So how are you going to remember it? What are you going to do? Well, maybe your first thought is, well, let me just put some dots and I'll just sort of scan out how high or low the pitch goes. So you take your piece of paper and it's "A mighty." Okay, well, those are all 3 the same pitch, so I'll put those dots right next to each other. "A mighty fortress." Okay, so fortress, jump down and then walk back up. So you make your little dots down and walk back up. "Mighty fortress is." Wait a minute, that's the same as "a mighty fortress is." So that should be on the same line as "a mighty fortress," right? A mighty fortress is our God. Walk straight back down. And actually where it walks straight back down to is mighty fortress is our God. So basically, you got these dots on the page, and you can see where a mighty fortress is. Those are the same pitch. So you decide, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw some lines through those dots just so I can tell real easily across the page which pitches are the same. And as you develop it, you decide, hey, you know what? It seems to work really nicely if I make this grid of 5 lines and I plot these little dots on those 5 lines and I use the spaces in between. And basically, that's what developed into what we call a staff. When you look at a typical music staff, that's all it is. It's a place to put your dots to show how high or low the pitch goes. So that's how our staff developed.